Time on this community broadcasting station. And, hey, we have a call already.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, are you on? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure the needle was kicking here. Ted Ford from his perch in Lafargeville.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
I'm not suggesting you're an old bird by saying that either.
You can suggest that because that probably would be correct.
All right. Now, we've been talking this week about the story that you broke about the Abby Hoffman-Barack Obama connection that extends right through Wellesley Island. And
that connection is pretty tenuous, you realize.
Tenuous, but nonetheless, we respect you as a Democrat for pointing this out, because I think it is further evidence of the radicalization of one Barack Obama as we look at the people he associates with.
Holy mackerel, are you drawing a thread here or what?
Now, of course, the story was...
Part of the right, you're going to fall off.
You've got a cousin, right?
I have a couple of cousins, yes.
All right, and she is...
Well, I have a cousin. The one that you're referring to is Johanna Lorenzen, who lives over on Wellesley Island.
Okay, lovely woman.
She is.
And very Carly Simon-like, as I recall.
Inside and outside, a lovely woman.
Yes, exactly. And she was the, well, what would you call it, soulmate, significant other, girlfriend of Abby Hoffman?
For a number of years.
And they lived together at the family home, which she was on Wellesley Island at a little community called Fineview, correct?
It's a cottage. It's a cottage with waterfront on the St. Lawrence. Yeah, it's been in the family since before the turn of the last century.
And during the time of 1968, when he became one of the Chicago Eight, and 1980, when he surfaced, he had gotten into trouble with the law and was on the lam, right? Abby Hoffman was.
He was, quote, in hiding, unquote, and going pseudonymously by the name of Barry Freed. And I was not aware of that, by the way.
Many are not, although I was talking to a veteran county legislator from the who told me that she did know who it was before everyone else. So, I mean, there was a close circle or something who may have known. But anyway, he was living up here under the name Barry Freed.
Put me in that category. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Very active in civic affairs and the Save the River movement, outspoken, hiding in plain sight, I might add. He was always on TV and the radio. He was taking on the issue of winter navigation on the St. Lawrence Seaway. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember it very, very well. I remember supporting him at the time.
Okay, and Barry Freed eventually, in an interview with Barbara Walters, came out and revealed who he was. All of a sudden, we had Abby Hoffman in the area, and it was a big deal. Well, of course, many of us in the news media went up to the house on Wellesley Island, where he lived, and also met Johanna Lorenzen. We'd met her at various events before. Nice little house, pleasant woman. And Abby Hoffman, after that, dealt with his legal issues. Unfortunately for him, I guess acquired a case of depression, ended up committing suicide in 1989. Correct?
Yep. You can go to Wikipedia and get the whole story if you like.
Okay, so that ended that. But Johanna Lorenzen still summers, as folks up there like to say, summers in the Thousand Islands. Is that old money?
As she has since she was a child, yeah.
Right. She's got old money, I take it.
I've never heard her refer to her money.
Okay, but obviously she's able to summer up here in the Thousand Islands. You were recently talking to her, as recently as last Friday.
That's correct.
And she revealed to you what?
She revealed to me something that I don't find too astounding, that she has been in William Ayers' house in Chicago, and you seem to just fall all over yourself.
Would that be the unrepentant terrorist, William Ayers?
Well, no, I was talking about the person who was the 1987 Citizen of the Year in Chicago.
I was listening to Hannity. He calls him the unrepentant terrorist. Well, okay, and of course he lives with his soulmate, Bernadette Dorn. Both of these were key figures in the weather...
on the FBI wanted list.
Weather Underground.
Put all in there. Yeah.
Radicalization of everything. So here we have one... she didn't say when she visited Mr. Ayers' house, did she?
No, and it was only a casual reference in the...
Okay.
We were talking about the current political campaign, and Bill Ayers' name came up.
I wish I was officially sanctioned as news media. I'd go up and interview her, but the drive-by media in Watertown knows about this story, won't pursue it. Basically what we're saying here is that Ms. Lorenzen and presumably Abby Hoffman had a pretty good relationship with Bill Ayers and Bernadette Dorn, part of that radical cabal. The question is, did the Abby Hoffman connection extend to one Barack Obama, who was also traveling in that circle?
I don't know. You're grasping, man.
I am trying to Hannitize the hotline here, and we're having fun doing it. But as usual, you won't read about that in columns by your Frank Riches, your E.J. Dionnes, or your Maureen Dowds, or certainly anyone in the local media. Maybe 150 years from now, Dave Champagne will write a story about it when it's history. But in terms of contemporaneously, we're not hearing about this. So this may be tangential, maybe very thinly threaded linkage.
I suspect it's tangential.
Yeah. But what is interesting is that Bill Ayers is in the news as the unrepentant terrorist, and there's a Jefferson County connection to it, regardless of whether Senator Obama has any linkage or not. I think that is an interesting fact that is verifiable by one Ted Ford.
That tangential connection, tenuous as it may be, can in fact be verified by me.
Okay, there it is. You have heard it on the hotline. News.
Now, spin it. Get out your wheel there and start spinning.
Well, we can. Now, Ted, we've got a debate tonight at Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. You know where that is?
Indeed, I do.
Okay. And what do they teach down there at Hofstra? Is that like a...
So I think they teach university subjects.
Just the usual run-of-the-mill stuff. And they're hosting the debate. First time there's been a presidential debate in the state of New York since when, Ted?
I don't know.
Since John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon in 1960.
Where was it?
New York City. I assume it was in a studio. I assume it was in a television studio there.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't go remote as easily back then. You know that. So, in any event, got this debate tonight. You've got polls which show anywhere from a 3.8 Obama margin in latest Zogby tracking to a 14-point margin in the CBS New York Times poll. Go figure. How do you figure that stuff out?
Well, I put a poll up on my blog asking people to vote yay or nay on whether or not they thought...
I think it's 8 or 9 points right in there.
Come out and mention Bill Ayers and sort of do what he hasn't done, look Obama in the eye and say, I've got something to tell you. Even Joe Biden was criticizing McCain for not doing
it. Wimping out on it. He should. But, it's not going to be that easy because the anchor is going to keep all the questions on these rather amorphous and very boring economic issues. I think they should get away from economic issues tonight in that debate.
That isn't going to stop McCain from saying what he wants to say. He may not be able to say it exactly when he wants to say it, but he can certainly make reference.
Well, if I were Senator McCain, I would say associations matter. I made the mistake of getting associated with some bad people in the 80s. While exonerated, I did use bad judgment, but I've learned from it. But the first step to redemption is you've got to come to terms with what you've done. And Senator Obama, I don't think you've done that with Bill Ayers.
Do you have John McCain's text number? I mean, you could text him that if you wanted to.
I could, and I'd throw in the Wellesley Island thing. I'd say, because who's going to... It's live in front of 65 million people. Who can refute it? I mean, just say, hey, weren't you connected to Abby Hoffman, too? And then attribute it to...
I think you've revealed your debate style.
Now, here's the thing, Ted. Let's check your morality. If John McCain said that on the air, but attributed it to Danger Democrat, wouldn't you feel good about that?
I'd be thrilled to pieces.
All right. So you've got your price on it, too. So it's not all...
I know.
It's not all bad there.